2.0. Trey should enter into a long throw contest. If he doesn't have to throw with timing, accuracy, or touch, he would be elite. Again, there's so much hate for this guy. Not just like, hey, we haven't seen it with Trey. That's the weird part, is that the reaction from his own fans is not.
We've seen enough. 2.0 has seen enough. But again, right. 2.0 is a much better, he's just a more astute observer than anyone else. So most people need to see 25, 30 games from a quarterback. He needs 4. And so to that, I just say congratulations. It's impressive that you're so good at watching football.
But this is the weird part. I could understand if non-49er fans were like, hey, right. Trey ain't it. These are his own fans that are sure that he, not just that he's not going to be elite, that he stinks, that he's bad. They know.
But can't we blame the organization set up this situation by always giving the fans 2 quarterbacks to choose from? It's Brock or Trey. Now it's Trey or Sam. It's like with Philly, when they decided it wasn't Wentz anymore, you're gone, and we're going to eat the dead cap hit because you're gone, and Jalen's a starter, and we're not bringing in a competition. We're bringing in a backup. That way, the locker room has no choice but to get on board. The fan base has no choice but to get on board. The Niners have been giving their fans choices for years. So you're going to have people like 2.0 who feel the way they do. I mean, the Niners created this situation.
That's a great point, by the way, because not just did the Carson Wentz thing, did they eat the cap hit? They ate the biggest cap hit in the history of the NFL to clear.
And it was the
deck.
right thing to do. Yes. It was the right thing to do.
And
it was the right thing to do.
Never cleared the deck for Trey Lance. Never.
And remember last year, like we were talking about, just having Jimmy Garoppolo lurking over Trey's shoulder is not going to be good for Trey. And people are like, oh, what are you talking about? Joe Montana, Steve Young had to compete. It's like, hey, this is what we were talking about. This is exactly what we're talking about.
And you eliminate so much. You eliminate any questions to any of the other players. Hey, what about this? Should this guy have been in? Should Brock have been in? Should Trey get in? Does Brock look healthy? You eliminate all that because there's no other option. But the 49ers are terrified to do that because they think they might lose games.
One more. When the Chiefs went to Patrick Mahomes, did they say, you know what? We believe in Patrick Mahomes, but just in case, we're going to keep Alex Smith as the backup. No, you know why? Because it's stupid. It would have been stupid. They got rid of Alex Smith, and they went all in with Patrick Mahomes.
And they can say, oh, well, they were sure with Patrick Mahomes. But again, you cannot
you
be
never
sure
know. You never
until
know.
they play.
You never
It's
know.
impossible. Tyler watching on YouTube. I don't know why Trey gets so much hate from his own fan base. Neither do I. Some people think that there's a racial component to that. I have no idea. I'm not.
Is it possible that the Colin Kaepernick experience traumatized some people, and some people, when they squint hard enough, kind of just see Colin Kaepernick and they're like, no, fuck this. I'm not doing this again.
But what was so traumatizing about the Colin Kaepernick experience when they almost
won it ended up. Yeah, I know, right? Well, yeah, I know. It's a good question. Honestly, it was a more fruitful. He had a better era than Jimmy, but it ended up with a lot of losing and political divided. So a lot of people remember that part. But it's not like Trey has ever said a political thing in his life. All he does is try to say the right thing and be a good teammate and be a good coachable kid. And people are like, no, fuck you. Like, whoa, dude, what has he done? What has he done? I
understand it. I really don't. And it's just, I've never seen a quarterback treated like this before, ever, especially by his own team.
It's weird. Again, Jamarcus Russell got 20 starts. Every bust ever got 20 starts. Johnny Manziel, like, you can't, it's so unprofessional to do this to a guy after 4 starts and an injury that you were complicit in. I'm not saying responsible. I'm going to use the verb complicit. Complicit. 2nd and 8 up the middle. Like, give him a chance to play quarterback before you write him off.
Now we're in a weird spot because now Brock has incentive to rush back. The 49ers have incentive to play Brock before he's ready. And they're splitting reps between Sam Darnold and Trey Lance, which, as you correctly pointed out, is not fair to either one of those guys and is going to lead them to be less prepared than they would have been had they received all the first-team reps.
A quarterback competition in the 80s and 90s when you had 2-a-days and stuff, like there were reps for that. Like now, these are like hour-and-a-half practices, man. This is different.
I want full report. I am usually the guy in the preseason who says, shut up. I don't care about what your preseason practice numbers were. Now I want every single one.
No.
Because we don't have any idea how they practiced last year. So I need all the information now.
So my game that I play in training camp is going as close to the line without crossing it. Because what you need to do is bring the fans to the practice through your words, and you have to describe as much as possible. But the team doesn't want you to talk about formations or personnel groups, so you have to find what the line is and come as freaking close to crossing it as possible, because your allegiance is not to the Niners, it's to your readers. So what you got to do. You got to find that line, and the only way to find it might be to cross it one time and be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know I couldn't do that. I didn't know I couldn't do that. Oh, you're right. Forgot. Sorry, I would never work like that.
What you just said is that should be the mission statement for everybody that writes about the team. Your job is to serve the audience. It's a service job. It is not to make sure the team is happy with what you say. And so I want to.
And it's crazy because it seems so obvious, but when you get in the industry, most people do what you just said. And I feel like what the owners' meetings is a schmoozing time for media to go hang out with Kyle and be like, hey, Kyle, can I buy you a drink? Can we hang out? I really like you. Are we friends? Like, no, I'm not. No, absolutely not. I'm still going to be that guy asking you why you did what you did when you lost to the Broncos. Nothing going to change.